That's clear cut. And here we go. We are getting on into this and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Dragon Scales. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Letting you know. Predictions open. Beautiful. And of course, we're on Dragon Scales. It's not going to be the most committed proxy. Bear that in mind. We do have a Rax coming out from ByuN. Is going to be starting things off with a bit of a bang. Now we have one Rax out of the map. We have one Rax back at home. So it's a very uncommitted 2 Rax opener here by ByuN. It does give him an advantage, or it does give him a Reaper advantage, of course, and he can snowball a little bit out of control. But he is transitioning back at home. He will be building himself up back at home. So once Clem realizes what's going on, he should be able to react in time and respond in time. As the first Reaper is on the way, SCV Scout is coming in. Going to be confirming the double gas opener of his opponent. Very similar to his own. And does check the Rax location as well. Oh my god. Never remember when I said that it shouldn't be too committed? Well, we have a depot out on the map as well. My oh my. As ByuN is going to be doubling down here. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't expand behind this. Reaper is on the way. The goal here for ByuN. Can he catch this Reaper of Clem? Looks like he will. Clem gets caught out, loses his first Reaper. That is a disastrous start. Clem has nothing left. He has a factory on the way. He has a reactor on the way. He has 0 units. And yep, there's a proxy factory for ByuN. Clem, he's in a lot of trouble. To lose your first Reaper in such a manner is huge. And with this, ByuN, he's gonna get more SCVs, one after the other. Clem, he can afford to lose some workers. He can afford to lose some, but he doesn't realize that his opponent is 1 base all in. He's expanding. He's getting a CC. And 2 more Reapers rock up as well. Oh my god. This is becoming far too much already. The Hellion gets targeted down. Marines have arrived. And they get 1 Reaper. But they will only get a single Reaper. GG gets called. ByuN takes game number 1. GG. Things just escalating very quickly and snowballing out of control. I assumed that it would just be a Rax in the center, a Rax at home, and we would go for a CC behind it. But ByuN, he just doubled down, and he didn't even need the proxy factory. Didn't even need additional units there. As unfortunately, Clem was caught out. He's caught out in the center of the map, and yeah, that 1 Reaper, that was all he had to work with. GG. And with that, ByuN takes game 1. He has a 1-0 lead in this best of 5. Clem, of course, he can bounce back. Oh, but quite a bit of momentum already in favor of ByuN. A very fast game. Oh boy. Here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner. We have the South Korean Terran. South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Oh my god. Clem wants to reciprocate. He's sending 2 SCVs out of the map. This is looking like a proxy 2 Rax here, or at least 1 Rax from Clem. He wants to be the aggressor. He wants to be in the face of ByuN. Second SCV is coming out, and yeah, it should be a proxy 2 racks from our red Terran player. This one is more overt. What this means is that if ByuN does go for an SCV scout across the map, he will just see that there is nothing at home, that there is no racks. So Clem just doubling down here. Wants to show that, hey, he can 2 racks as well, buddy. And he's not afraid to just proxy both of them. The power of Clem. Now, how this works is ByuN, as soon as he gets a whiff of this, as soon as he realizes what's happening, he needs to pull the boys, and he needs to protect his first Reaper. Just like before. He needs to preserve that first Reaper. He's going reactor first. Oh, okay. He's going to be going for a reactor first opener, which means that does delay his first Reaper, but he's going to be able to make 2 at a time. This does mean that this first Reaper of Clem is going to go uncontested for a little bit longer. It means that ByuN, he's got to work his magic. Pull back those SCVs, keep them alive. Keep them topped up as the first Reaper has arrived. Here we go. Clem. The timing of this Reaper is very fast, so ByuN should know what's going on. There we go, the boys are being pulled. The first SCV is going to go down. Does get us around on another building SCV, on that SCV of Clem. Second SCV gets picked off as well. Big delay on this factory. And this is already becoming a little bit too much. Third SCV as well. Clem just making sure the factory does not finish. A 4th SCV. Oh my god. And this could even be a fast game because 7 workers just went down. Ay. 9 workers even. Finally, ByuN has a couple of Reapers of his own, but he loses one already. As he does force Clem out. And with the arrival of these Hellions, it looks like ByuN, he's holding on, he's surviving. Clem is already transitioning. He's got a factory on the way. Clem is ahead in the worker count. That is what matters right now. That is what matters most. He's ahead in workers, ahead in the economy. Reapers, they dive into the main base, trading 1 for 1. Looks like Clem is going to get cleaned up, though. This was a bit of an overextension. The Reaper counts are reset. Hellions are moving out. And Clem? Okay, he does have a Cyclone on the way. He should be fine back at home. He should be okay. As Clem is getting his CC on location. And his Cyclone is halfway out. ByuN is doubling down. He is not expanding. He throws down a starport. ByuN going for a 1 base all in as a follow-up. I think he realizes just how much he has lost already. Hellion gets across the map. We're getting a couple of SCVs. Hellions do go down. And the pressure is on ByuN. Okay, the units tab. It's 2 Reapers, a Cyclone. Raxes are finally floating back home. ByuN still not expanding, by the way. Oh no, more SCVs. As more SCVs are going down. This 1 Reaper doing so much. Getting a 3rd worker. Bit of miscontrol from ByuN as he selected the wrong SCV to repair. 4 more workers. And on top of that, we get a scout of the main. Clem is now fully aware that he's being all in. It looks like ByuN is expanding, and that is revealed to this Rax. But this is such a late expansion. Like, Clem is going to be feeling so good about this. Like, he's already on 2 bases. The orbital is done at the natural. He's up 6 workers. He's going to be perpetually ahead in workers because he can make 2 at a time. He's muling. Solid lock-ons on the Hellions. Oh, both Hellions go down. Really strong defense here from Clem. He's going to be losing some workers, but he shuts it down. Clem, he's already got a 3rd CC on the way, just getting even further ahead. We got a Cloak on the way for Banshees, but that's been scouted. And Clem already has 3 Cyclones. He's got 3 Cyclones, got a Raven on the way. He's well prepared for Cloak Banshees. ByuN is up against the wall. Can he come back in this game? It's a TvT, so I want to say yes. I mean, he's got a Widow Mine. It's going to be going off. Takes down a Cyclone. Big pick off. Oof. Banshee as well. Can it take down another Cyclone? Looks like we will trade 1 for 1. Expensive, though, for ByuN. Does at least get one of the Cyclones. Cyclones are not at home. Banshee, is going to get shut down. 2 Banshees for a Cyclone and 5 SCVs. ByuN still recovering. Clem finishing up his 3rd orbital. He's got triple mules. Make 3 SCVs at a time. Now, the reason why I say it's a TvT so he can come back is that once we settle down and get up to at least 2 bases and work towards our 3rds, even if you're down 20, 30 supply, like, you can still take a fight. Like, you can outposition your opponents. You can get some tank volleys off. You can be the first to siege. If you maintain your Ravens, you can disable your opponent's tanks and take a better fight that way. Like, there are ways to come back in TvT. It does feel like it's mainly a positional battle, and ByuN does have a good chance. As ByuN gets 3 more workers. Moving out with his main army. ByuN, he's up in tanks. He's up in Ravens. Does have 2 to the 1 of his opponent. And Clem is looking to expand and take that 3rd. ByuN is looking to delay him, or deny him if possible. But Clem is in position. He's already sieged up. You can see ByuN, he's basically here to catch the army moving out. As a scan in the main reveals that the 3rd CC is still in production for ByuN. Scan here reveals that the 3rd base is already up and running for Clem. ByuN sees the tanks. He's going to try to rotate around, which is spotted by this Marine. Oh, and Clem is going to move out. Uh-oh. Okay, the main army hasn't started. Clem turns back around, thankfully. As the Viking does give its life for that scout. ByuN has found his way in position. He's going to be able to siege up. The boys are being pulled. Auto turrets, they need to be thrown down. But alas, Clem has too much. He's going to collapse on this army. Cleans up every single one of those tanks. GG gets called, and Clem will tie up the series 1-1. GG. Again, a really strong start for Clem. Really solid start. And that did eventually, you know, just snowball out of control. ByuN was pretty committed from, he was just behind from the beginning of the game. He had a lot of catching up to do. Lots of catching up to do, and alas, in the end, he couldn't quite recover from such a deficit. GG. GG. We have a series. That's what's important. We have a back and forth. We have a series on our hands. We're going to game 3. We are hopefully going the distance. Hello, hello, Vindicta, hello. Reactor first, yeah, it was rough. Rough start. Smurge. You're like, I mean, Migs, he was here earlier. He was here earlier when we were casting Mixu. We were casting Mixu. Miguelito was here. Good to see you, Papi. Good to see you. Always. But here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. Ooh, it is ByuN. And spawning in the top right, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid, tying up the series 1-1 in that last game. It is Clem. And game 1, ByuN went for the 2 racks. Game 2, Clem went for the 2 racks. And here in game 3, no one is sending SCVs out on the map. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. No 2 raxes from either player this time. It looks like they've had their fun. And we have our raxes back at home instead. Back at home. Aye. Smooch. So a much more sensible beginning here. Sensible start to game 3. We are on Ancient Cistern, one of the larger maps in the map pool, of course. It is larger, a lot more macro-oriented, and hopefully at some point in this series we can get up to a 3-base economy for both players. And I'm feeling that this, if it's ever going to happen, it's going to be on Ancient Cistern. But we'll see. We shall see. So we are getting into this, and so far everything's looking normal. Both players did go for double gas openers, so we have a prioritization of those factories. We have reactor first as well, but it's a little more safer to do so in this scenario. I say safer, I mean, it would have been rough if there was some proxy raxes going on. But there we go, reactor first, and now we have Reapers on the way. So far, both players just mirroring each other, doing the exact same openers. Do love to see it. There it is, Clem taking his expansion on location. ByuN not too far behind, only by a couple of seconds. So Reapers are moving out. Oh. As, yeah, we are just having a much more chill and calm start of the game here in game 3. Both players are still just building up their Reaper and Hellion counts. It's one of those things where neither one really wants to be the first to shoot, and at least until they have their 5 Reapers and 3 Hellions up and running. And finally, we're seeing our first divergent point here, as we have a second Rax from ByuN. We have a faster starport from Clem instead. And here we go, the armies are going to be engaging here. Hellions are going down for both players. Clem does up. Actually, both players trade pretty evenly. And Clem does chase ByuN back. And in the end, Clem will clean up the entire army. A better trade from our Red Terran. Clem does maintain map control. And he's getting into his 1-1-1 follow-up. ByuN focusing a lot more on bio and his marine count. As Clem has enough to break this position. Yeah, he's going to be able to push through. Getting some of these Reapers through the Marines as well, and he's going to be able to get into the mineral line. ByuN is in a lot of trouble. He gets that last Reaper, but 2 Hellions make it through. And the SCVs, they have to be pulled. 2 SCVs, that could have been so much worse, but regardless, ByuN now takes an economic deficit. The Marines, they came out just in time, and thankfully he was able to kill one of those Reapers as well. But Clem is not slowing down. Cyclone, Marines are on the way, the drop is coming. Oh, and ByuN's Cyclone is moving out. It's not going to be at home to defend. Uh-oh. He has vanilla Marines, and they're going to have a bit of a harder time dealing with this. And nice lock on. Gets an SCV. Boys have to be pulled. And as the army was distracted, that one Hellion comes back in. 2 more SCVs. It doesn't look like a lot, but it's the SCV kills. They're slowly adding up. They're slowly adding up. Clem, he gets a lock on. He trades. He out trades that Cyclone for a moment. Faster third TC. Now he's getting into the rest of his Raxes into his 3-1-1 setup. But ByuN, he's weathering the storm. And what's important is that he has been building up this Marine count for quite some time. Finally, the medevacs have arrived as well. And ByuN can soon be active on the map. Now, this is something that you don't get to see too often. Basically, what ByuN is doing, and his opener, his build that he has gone for, is a 2-on-1. It's a 2-on-1. This means that he has delayed tank production, and of course, he doesn't have any Ravens. And tanks and Ravens are usually a big part of TvT. But ByuN, he ignores that entirely. He's going for a double drop across the map, a big stim timing. And can he get the tanks? Oh, tanks not quite sieged. Yeah, we have reinforcements back at home, and ByuN is being shut down completely. The medevac falls. Again, this playstyle is really risky from ByuN. It's a really risky playstyle to go for. You're banking up so much on this double drop, and for one of those medevacs to go down, that is disastrous. And now ByuN, he's on the back foot. He's on the brink of defeat, actually. Like, Clem is moving out, and I don't think ByuN can stop him. ByuN has 1 tank. He has 1 tank. He has no Ravens for disables. He has a Cyclone in the main. He has Marines with stim. That's the advantage that he has over his opponents. Is that really going to be enough, though? There we go. We have the disable. The Marines, they sim on top of this. They do get one of those tanks. ByuN trying to hold on. He does have a second tank just now coming out. ByuN barely holding. But he is going to be contained to 2 bases. That is all that Clem needs. Clem doesn't have to kill ByuN, he just has to contain him to 2 bases while Clem gets his own 3rd base fully operational. More Vikings, tanks on the way. And the problem is that Clem, he should be able to maintain his tank lead. He's going to lose one of them on the front lines. And, oh, the Raven! Raven does get sniped. Does get shut down. Good trades for ByuN. ByuN about to kick in with 1-1. There's a world where especially if he catches these tanks on siege, like ByuN, he could take a better fight. So Clem is going for a more traditional tank Viking composition. ByuN mainly Marine, and here we go. He's steaming on forward. He's collapsing on this tank. He's gonna take it down, and he wants the other. We'll get saved. We'll get picked up. ByuN still fighting back. Here we go. We have a drop going in towards the main. Clem has tied up the upgrades. Drop does go in, getting quite a number of SCVs, and can even maybe get on top of the tank as well, but no, it looks like ByuN does hold on to his main. Same time we do see ByuN. Oh, again, trying to catch the army unsieged. Trying to find the ideal moment as, oof, 9 more, 10 more SCVs go down. ByuN was already struggling economically. Now even more so. The other big thing is that because of all these Vikings, whenever we fight ByuN, he's losing medevacs. He's been bleeding out medevac after medevac. He doesn't have a lot to sustain his own marine army. And here comes Clem. Getting the final tank, forcing a big engagement here from ByuN, but he's pushing into a tank line and it looks like it's just too much. GG gets called. Clem will take a 2-1 lead in this best of 5. GG. Ay, ay, ay. Again, ByuN, he loves these 2-on-1s in TvT. Just because, as you can imagine, ByuN, he loves being active on the map and, you know, moving out with drop play and going for these like multi-pronged aggressions. But especially early on, if you start losing momentum and if you fall behind economically and if your opponent is able to even scat you and get a read on what's going on, it can be really difficult to pull off just because you fall behind. You fall behind in tanks, you fall behind in ravens, you fall behind in the mid game. So ByuN, he had a lot to make up for, and he just wasn't able to bring it all back in the end. He wasn't able to bring himself back into that game. So really well done by Clem. Just really solid play. Like nothing too fancy from Clem, just really solid macro, solid play overall. It's ByuN who's a little bit more stylistic and was punished as a result. Was punished for it. Well, I just killed the spider. that's why I had to turn off the cam for a moment. It's all good. Don't worry about it. It's gone. It's not with us anymore. As we are getting into this and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player down in this series, up against the wall. One more loss, and that will be the end of the tournament. That'll be the end of the finals. We have, for Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. One more game is all Clem needs. Uno mas, baby, uno mas. And once again, no proxy Raxes. No proxies. The Raxes, they're back at home. You do love to see it. As Clem is going for a double gas opener, so is ByuN. Again, coming back to game number... to that last game. Again, ByuN, because of his opener, he was going for a 2-on-1. He was banking so much on his double drop on his stim timing, but leading into that stim timing, he was losing SCVs, he had lost his Reapers and Hellions, he lost his map control, and the double drop was shut down so hard by Clem, and ByuN was behind. He was straight up behind from that moment. Was struggling to keep up, was late when it came to his third base timing as well. He was trying to claw his way back in, but wasn't able to pull it off. And now we're here in potentially the final game of the series. Clem going for a reactor first. ByuN opting not to. Opting to go for the Reaper first instead. So Clem, again, he's cutting some corners. He's being a little bit greedy by going for that reactor first, and he should be able to get away with it. Should be okay. It can be a risky thing to do, as we saw earlier this series, if you get proxied. But he is getting away with it. He's getting away. See Ravax in the chat. Like there was a spider on my curtain scuttling around, and I had to deal with it. It's fine. Look, I'm not losing my internet again, okay? Those who don't know, there is an internet story regarding a spider, where there was a spider. Hold on, do I have cams? Oh. Okay. There was a spider the size of my palm. Not the hand itself, but the size of my palm. And one night while I was casting, it was actually behind the monitor, because behind my monitor there's a window and there's a curtain, and it was on the curtain, and a battle ensued. A battle ensued. I had of course like a spray can to deal with it, and my thongs as well. In the end, it dropped on the modem. Internet died. Stream went down. Pandemonium. As we do see, Clem try to engage here, but with these Marines as well, it looks like ByuN has more than enough to push this back. He will hold. It's a bold move from Clem, but again, ByuN, he did have a better concave. As I say that, we have more Hellions coming in to reinforce. Clem looking for a way in, but is being forced back. As he is transitioning, getting into a 1-1-1. Likewise, so is ByuN this time. Thankfully, no 2-on-1, no big kind of Marine stim timing from our Terran player. But yeah, that was in the middle of a cast. Thankfully, I don't think I was streaming. I think I was casting WTL with Asher. I think it was with Asher, and I think Asher kept casting, and I think I came back afterwards once the internet came back. Good times. Never again, Papi, never again. As we're getting into this, third CC is on the way here for Clem. Oh, and ByuN is going for a 2-base all-in. Okay, so we had a bit of a spicy start here initially with the Hellions engaging. After we back off, I thought that things would mellow out from here, and Clem is looking for a longer game. ByuN throws down a second starport. This is a 2-base all-in. This is designed to build up a very large Viking count, get into Liberators as well, and to break the Terran player by gaining air control, air superiority, and bullying the ground army back with those libs. So ByuN is going to be very, very committed with this, and Clem has no idea. Clem has yet to go in and scout. He's not fully aware of what's going on. For those wondering, a good way to counteract this, if you do confirm the second starport, if you're aware of what's happening, then a second starport of your own will help out when it comes to keeping up with Vikings, keeping up with the Viking count, and dealing with those libs. Meanwhile, oh my, okay, wait, so it is double starport, but we have a tech lab on this starport. We're going into Raven production. Scan will miss it, by the way. And here we go. ByuN is pushing out. Same goal though, a similar idea, where the Liberator obviously bullies back the army. Ravens as well do disable tanks. Hellions do dip into the mineral line, and we do scout the second starport. He knows. Clem knows. He gives up the third. He knows he cannot defend this third base location. Now that he's seen that second starport, he's going for a big counterattack as well. He's trying to set up defensively. Tanks, Vikings are on the way. And he may even force a base trade here. Like, these Marines, they have a little potential. But here we go. ByuN is going to be committing. He cleans up all the Marines. He's closing the gap, getting on top of the tanks as well. And ByuN is taking control of the natural base at the same time. This big Marine counterattack was so smart. And Clem, he annihilates the natural base of ByuN as well. Both players lose their naturals. Can Clem get into the main? That's going to be the next big question. As he doesn't, he could have, there's only one tank. He could have tried, but no, the Marines, they turn back around. Vikings camping the production, taking down the Viking here of Clem. And Clem, he's pulling the boys, he's coming in from behind. And it looks like Clem, he does have enough to clean this up. The tanks are falling. Clem is holding. He does hold on. He has 3 CCs. Every Viking goes down. GG gets called, and the all-in from ByuN fails. Clem holds and he takes the game. He takes the series 3-1. Clem is this week's ESL Open Cup Americas champion. GG. Clem correctly just barely scouting the all-in as well. With that Hellion run by, he was able to get into the natural base, spot that second starport. Immediately he goes for a big Marine counterattack, which was so smart. There was nothing at home to deal with those Marines, and it crippled ByuN. It made sure that ByuN just had no out. It made sure that ByuN had no transition point, or it meant that killing the natural wasn't enough for ByuN. Bearing in mind that Clem killed the CC, ByuN didn't kill anything, or he didn't kill any of the orbitals of his opponent, was just denying mining. As we saw, eventually the Marines, they came back home, we saw a big surround, and Clem cleaned ByuN up. And just like that, Clem is our champion. Wow. He is our champion. Congratulations to Clem, and congratulations. My condolences to ByuN, but Clem did look so damn good here tonight. ByuN was never really able to get into his game. I mean, here we saw an all-in game 4. In game 2, we saw ByuN got proxy 2 racks and just died, essentially, to the proxy 2 racks. And in game 3, we saw ByuN go for a 2-on-1, and he was shut down before he really got going. So, a really fast TvT, a really fast best of 5. We never really got to see 3 base versus 3 base, unfortunately. It would have been really cool to see a more back and forth macro TvT between these two players. Instead, we got something that was a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more chaotic, and Clem was able to keep up. I think that's what's important here, is that that's where these Korean Terran players thrive, is just like really throwing a wrench in the works and dictating the pace of the game, and really catching the European Terrans kind of like off guard in a way. But Clem was able to keep up. Able to shut down ByuN at every turn. Mostly every turn. Yeah, congratulations. Congratulations. With that, that is going to be the end of our broadcast here today. I do apologize as well, because our stream did go down earlier. For those wondering, we were here for the beginning, but in the middle of Dark versus Clem, the internet did drop, so we were unable to cast the finale of Dark versus Clem, and we lost a lot of our viewers as well. We were peaking around 100 viewers at the time, which was really good, really good viewership for ESL Americas, especially considering all the competition we have, because there's a lot of English casters. Did lose them all, unfortunately, when the stream went down, but thank you so much for everyone that stuck around. We appreciate it. Always appreciate the support. And yeah, with that, we are done. We are done here for the day. We do have plenty of casts set up for the rest of the week, but I'm still not fully recovered. I got the flu on Friday, a couple of days ago on Friday, and I'm still not at 100%. So I think I'm gonna just take some time to recover here tonight. Tomorrow we do have a replay cast. We're gonna be casting KSL. KSL was live on Saturday, but because I was sick, we missed it. We weren't able to cast it live, so we're going to be going for a replay cast tomorrow. So we have a KSL cast tomorrow, and then we have GSL qualifiers. The replays, we have access to the replays, and we're going to be casting the qualifiers on Thursday and Friday. 2 days chock full of GSL replays. So, GSL Code S qualifiers. So They weren't broadcasted live. They're never broadcasted live, but the replays have been provided to the patrons, and a lot of where everyone's jumping on them. I know we have people like Zombie Grub and Loco and all these the more YouTube side of things. They're uploading on YouTube, and we're going to be casting our coverage of the GSL qualifiers over the next couple of days. Leading into the weekend. If you're wondering about WTL, World Team League, Code A concluded. Code A did conclude over the weekend. We did wrap up Code A, and Code S starts in 2 weeks. Still 2 weeks away, so we still have some time to take a breath and recover and rest and you know, get things going for WTL. Something that we do need to catch up on is we also have a Polish tournament. We have a Polish championship starting up on Saturday, and I think it's going to go for an entire week. So I will have to get some details on that, but we should be covering that as well. So plenty of StarCraft going to be happening here on the CranKy Ducklings, as always. We're going to be a little bit lighter on content over the next couple of days, again, just because of there's no WTL. That's where the replay casts are coming in. So yeah, look forward to it. Look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we did miss ESL Asia last night because the internet cut out. I don't know what's been happening, but the internet has been a little bit unstable recently. So we weren't able to cast ESL Asia. If we get our hands on those replays, then we may cast ESL Asia at some point this week as well. We via replays. We may cover that. Otherwise, we have everything else. We have everything else with KSL and GSL and TTT and all that good stuff. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. And we're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we will be giving someone else a raid. Let's have a look. Who's live right now? Who is live? Who can we send our love to? Sort of is laddering. Oh my god, Poppy, sort of. Welcome back. He's a Swedish Zerg player who's been retired for a long time. He came back out of nowhere during DreamHack Jönköping, obviously because he's from Sweden. So he played in DreamHack Jönköping. It was great to see him again after a long hiatus. But yeah, it looks like he's back, so stick around. We're gonna be giving sort of a raid. Give him some love, give him some support. Until then, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some KSL replays. See you then. Bye.